Good morning, children. A very warm good morning to you all. Children, yesterday we saw the first part of the lesson, the last lesson, isn't it? Come on, let's have a little bit some points about yesterday's lesson. Children, as you all know, Alfonso Daute, he himself is narrating the story. It's a time of Prussian War, the war between Germany and France, in which Germany defeated France. Moreover, he has taken two of its districts. Those are Alsace and Lorraine. And now they have sent a order now. Berlin, which is the capital of Germany, has sent an order that in all schools of Alsace and Lorraine, the language, German language, will be introduced. They impose the German language, and the French speaking people over in these two districts will have to give their own language. Just see, children, if somebody takes your mother tongue, how you'll feel? You'll be helpless. You'll be just like a slave. Your hands will be cut. You can't do anything, and moreover, it will be a new language. You don't know anything. All your official work, domestic work, everything, reading, writing, everything will be in a different language, other language. So, Mr. M. Hamel, the teacher of the French language, who has taught in these district, rather in this school, for 40 years, is very sad. France, who never used to like to learn grammar rules, grammar participles of French language, because he never used to remember. He was very playful boy, like you people. You keep giving excuses, no? When sometimes you don't do work, don't do homework, that time in the same manner, France also used to keep giving excuses. One fine day, when he was asked forcefully to give, yes, he's supposed to answer. He's supposed to, supposed to write his exam on participle. He thoughts of not going to school. He think that it is better to stay outside. And his thoughts were very, very, in a playful manner, he has decided it. Because outside the environment, the atmosphere is different, and inside the classroom it is different. Outside it is everything is free. Playing, chirping of birds, woods, those things are all attracting to him, fascinating to him. And inside the school, he is fearful about his teacher. The teacher who is known for his strictness. The teacher who makes his student learn somehow by hook or crook, by beating, by scolding, by shouting. And that is why he is fearful and thought of not going to school. Children, but and as he was thinking on this, not going to school, but still he made up one mind. Instead of staying outside, it is better, come on, we'll go to school. So he thought of again going to school. As he was passing from the square, he saw the bulletin board and the crowd over there. Since last 2 years, there was some or the other bad news, and the discussion over on that bad news. Today also he thought the same thing. So instead of peeping here and there and knowing what is happening, he straight away started for his school. He was in a hurry. Still one of the person behind shouted at him, "Why you are hurry? You have ample of time to reach to school. The atmosphere is unusual there in the school. Earlier it used to be hustle, bustle, noise, children running here and there, playing hide and seek. Okay, but today it is altogether different. The pin drop silence was there. All the children, instead of seeing outside the class, they were sitting inside. M. Hamel thought, Franz thought that he will get inside the class in that hustle bustle noise, though he is late. But today, because everybody, each and every student is inside, he cannot make his point. Has to go in front of everyone inside the class. And he thought of the beating of Mr. M. Hamel. And M. Hamel did not say anything today. That was surprising to France. Till here, children, we have seen yesterday in previous period. From today, we'll have the second half of this lesson. Children, the last lesson, the second half, the keywords you keep writing in your notebooks. Come on. Now, as soon as he was about to reach inside the class, he saw Hamel standing. Children were sitting. How to get inside the class? He was not having that courage to get inside the class. Still, Mr. M. Hamel, he called, "You take your seat." Slowly putting his head down, Franz entered inside and he takes his seat. As he sat on his bench, he saw something unusual thing is happening today. What is that, children? That all the children are there, quiet, and at the back bench, elderly villagers are also sitting. So he's amazed to see all those people, the old people sitting at the back side. What is the reason, or what might be the reason? So the teacher is asking, he is not strict today, he is very calm, very posed. The teacher is asking each and everyone about the lesson. Now, it was the turn of Franz. His turn to recite the lesson of participle. He thought that he'll give the answers correctly, he'll recite it. And he stood on his turn to give the answers. But what, to his surprise, he started it in very confident manner. But he forgot. He put his head down, thought that the teacher will come closer to him and beat him. But nothing that happened. Franz fumbled after speaking few words. As usual. Because children, this happen only when we don't have interest. See, when you are having interest, you do the thing interestingly, with effortly. You took full pain and efforts to do it, to complete it. But he was not having interest in the grammar lessons, and that is why he fumbled here. And he couldn't speak even those few words. Mr. Hamel would not scold little Franz today. He was calm. Maybe his mind is preoccupied with some other thoughts. So he did not beat Franz, neither shouted at Franz. He explained, Mr. Hamel explained to the class, "See, you wasted your time, children. Every time we think, now it's time, enough of time. The way you also do it. Tomorrow we'll do, madam. Tomorrow we'll do, madam. Next period we'll do, madam. Next period. This tomorrow never comes." The same thing happened. Afterwards we'll learn the grammar lessons. Afterwards we'll see the participles. And afterwards, now there is no time. See the now and the later. They put off their work thinking that they had plenty of time. Today what they are supposed to do, they did not do it. Tomorrow we'll do it. Tomorrow we'll do the way you do it. Tomorrow we'll do it. Tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. Yes, tomorrow came, but with a different order. And that is what M. Hamel was explaining to these children, to the class. He told, Germans would laugh at you. Why? Because when they'll come and when they'll tell you to write in your own language, you won't be able to write. To read your language, you won't be able to read. They'll laugh at you. Why? Because they'll say, how you can say that French is your mother tongue when you can't even read and write? Same is the case nowadays happening with Marathi also, children, or the regional languages. We are running behind English only. Of course, English is a window to the world. We can capture so many things after having the language. We can roam around in the world. We can do number of courses going outside the country. English is must, but we should not forget our mother tongue. And this is same thing happening in French. The boy is not able to know, read or write his own mother tongue. Mother tongue which is very precious for each and everyone. And that is what M. Hamel told. That those people, when the German will come, they laugh at you. That you people not knowing your own language. Franz did not know the lesson. He got confused and stood quietly. He forgot. His heart was beating fast as he was ashamed of himself and not have the courage to face the teacher. This thing happens with you also. He couldn't give her the answer and he was feeling ashamed himself, and neither he has got the courage to face his teacher. M. Hamel says that all the people of Alsace were to be blamed as no one was serious towards learning. It is not only France, or it is not only France-like students, those who are to be blamed for not knowing the lessons, but everybody, including he himself. He himself means the student, the parents and the teacher, Mr. Hamel himself, to be blamed for not taking the lessons or the learning seriously. He tells the class that the enemies, the Prussians, would laugh at them, and they say that the only show to the Frenchmen as they can neither speak nor write their language. They laugh at us. They laugh at you that you can neither speak nor write your own language. He said that France should not feel guilty as everyone is at fault. France himself should not feel guilty. Everybody is at fault. Why he is telling this? Mr. Hamel says that Franz's parents were not interested in getting him educated. At one point, the parents did not help him in his education. Rather, they used to send him to fields to work. They wanted him to work at a farm or a mill and earn some money. More the hands, more the earnings. Maybe this may be the thought behind this, and that is why the parents were not interested in Franz's education, Franz's learning. He said that as a teacher he was also not interested in teaching. He takes the blame for himself also. He was not interested in teaching. So many times he asked the children to water the plants. So many times when he used to have a mood of fishing, going to seashore to fish, he used to give holiday to the class and he used to enjoy fishing. In this manner, the children were weak in the lessons. Rather, they were slow in the lessons. And this is what Mr. Hamel was explaining to the class. The grammar lesson was followed by one in writing. Moreover, before that, what happened, children? The teacher did not scold. He politely asked Franz to sit down. And he showed you should be serious towards your lessons. So the grammar lesson was followed by one in writing. The writing section took place. Everybody started writing. Mr. Hamel distributed the books to the class, to the old people, those who were sitting. They were sitting, children. Why? Because they were paying a tribute, they were paying a respect to their mother tongue. Because today is the last day of their mother tongue. Today is the last day to learn French. From tomorrow onwards, there will be no more French. Only language German. Moreover, another teacher, a German teacher, will take the charge of M. Hamel's, as M. Hamel will be leaving the school tomorrow morning. So the grammar lesson was followed. Mr. Hamel distributed the notebooks nicely. In those notebooks written France, Alsace, France, Alsace. When they saw that notebook, they opened the notebook and they found like those two words are floating in the atmosphere, in the air. They became more touchy. They became more sentimental seeing those words. And slowly, their patriotism aroused. Slowly, they started thinking about the language. Mr. Hamel was telling something. The children were writing down in the notebook. Only the scratching sound over the writing over the notebook was heard. There was pin drop silence. Only the writing silence was there. A beetle by the time entered inside the class. Generally what happens, children? A beetle or any or a butterfly or any flies, when they enter inside, the children run behind them or get disturbed and get started to beat or to let the beetle go or let the fly go. They make sure that the fly will go out of the class, and in that a chaos is produced. Today also the beetle entered, but this time nobody moved. Nobody did the chaos. Nobody did the shouting. Nobody did the laughing. Silently they were sitting and they were watching it, and sometimes they were writing it. Even the birds, the pigeons were cooing some corner. That also it was neglected by the students because they were very much disturbed today, as their language will be snatched from them tomorrow. So Mr. M. Hamel was giving so many points about the beauty of the language. See, this is the tower, France, Paris Tower, Eiffel Tower. Mr. Hamel praised French for being the most beautiful language. Beautiful language in the world, very easy, very logical language. You should have known it. He has having all the regards for the language because he was that French teacher only. He read out a grammar lesson and French was amazed that he understood it. Once again Mr. Hamel explained this lesson, and easily now Franz understood the lesson. And he was amazed, he was surprised that today how he could be able to understand the lesson. Since so many days he was not able to understand. Children, this is what happens because he was one with the language, with the atmosphere, with the sentiments of the language of his mother tongue. You can see it. The same way, when you take interest, even the maths portion becomes easy for you. The science portion becomes easy for you. The English grammar becomes easy for you. But you don't show interest, and that is why you feel that it is very hard. No, we are not showing interest, and that is why we feel it is hard. So today Franz was amazed that he understood each and everything about his mother tongue, whatever Mr. Hamel taught. Sorry, children. See how they were happy. There was a scene of patriotism in the class. The children were happy. Even the pigeons could be heard on the roof of the school. They were cooing. The symbol of pigeons are there. Pigeons, a free bird, peace-loving bird. They are cooing on the roof of the school. Maybe today onwards they won't coo, or maybe the Germans even ask them to coo in their own language. This is what Franz was thinking. They were writing their lessons, they were writing the points, they were writing in their notebooks. Old Hauser, old villager Hauser, he is having his primer. Primer means, children, book, notebook, very torn out notebook. He is opening it and he is trying to write something on it. He is very sentimental. We could see that the sister of Hamel, the teacher, is packing her luggage because tomorrow they are supposed to move from this country to another where French will be taught. because M. Hamel did not surrender. He did not want German to learn. He wanted that his French, he is having all regards and respect for his language, and that is why he wants to leave this place. Same thing. So he is supposed to leave the place and go to another place the next day. Mr. Hauser was reading, his voice trembling with emotions. The people, those who never went to school, even they are there seen at the back bench of the school, of the class. They're sitting there only to pay regards and respect to their mother tongue. With all sentiments and with all emotions and with all tears in their eyes. Just then the church clock struck 12. It was 12 o'clock. M. Hamel got alert. 12 o'clock means it is time to say bye-bye with the class. And the striking of the watch or the clock was also the sign that it is time. Even the Angelus means children, the devotional prayers of Roman Catholic people, it started in the church. The prayer started and there was a 12 o'clock. The Prussian returning from drill sounded. Near the window on the road, the Prussian army was returning from their drill, and the sound of their foot, or rather feet, were heard. So they were marching, means they were coming back. Mr. Hamel wrote the words, "Long live France." He took a turn. He saw the class. He took a turn. Again he praised his language. Again he asked, motivated the children to go for it. And he explained that if you don't know your mother tongue, you will be slaved and you will be put in prison. But if you know your mother tongue will release you from the prison also. That much power a mother tongue is having. He wrote, "Long live France," with a heavy heart. See, he took a back and he wrote, "Long live France. Viva la France." Then he turned to the backboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote a large as he could, "Viva la France, long live France." He did not turn his back. He did not saw the children leaning towards the board, leaning towards the wall, because he was full of sentiments and emotions and all the tears in his eyes. He raised his hand by saying goodbye to the children, and the class was dismissed. The class was dismissed, children. That was the lesson. With heavy heart, he says goodbye to the class. I hope you understood. Let's see the summary, children. After overpowering their district of Alsace and Lorraine, Berlin had ordered that German be taught in the schools there. Berlin, the capital of Germany. As a mark of respect to his hard work, the village men are there to attend the last lesson. Mark of respect. Even they could be seen, sitting back on the back benches. Mr. Hamel tells them that they are at fault and not being eager enough to learn, putting it off to the next day. Every time, next day, we'll learn tomorrow, in this manner. The days were gone, the time has gone. They don't have time now. He feels sad at the thought of departing from him, feels ashamed for not being able to recite the lesson. Feels ashamed also. Ashamed for not being able to recite the lesson. He was unable to, and even the teacher was moving. Franz is shocked that it's his last lesson, but he does not know French. Now he gets interested in learning and understand everything taught on that day. Earlier he did not understand, but today he got one with the language, emotions. He got touchy with the language, senti with the language. And now today everything, whatever it was taught by Mr. Hamel, he understood everything, whatever it was taught in the class. He develops an instant liking for his teacher and respect him for his sincerity and hard work. Earlier he used to hate his teacher, the way some you hate some of the teacher, isn't it? Are you not? No? Okay, it's better then. So he develops the instant liking for his teacher. Earlier he never used to like him, but today he's having full respect for his teacher because of his sincerity and hard work. The teacher was very sincere and very hard, no? Franz feels that it is not possible to take away one's language from him as it is natural for each being. How can the German people will come and take our language? It is very natural with us. Though we cannot write and write, rather we, I can say it, though I cannot read and write French, but I am having all regard for my language. How the Germans will take away my language? May it be the coo, the pigeons of French to them. Maybe they'll take away. He is just taunting. He is just giving a laugh that they'll ask the pigeons also to coo in German. Maybe because as they are taking a language, the French, maybe they are taking the pigeons cooing also. He told them to guard it as being close to one's language is the key to escape from the prison of slavery. The teacher told to guard, to safeguard the language, to protect the language. Because it is a key to escape from the prison of slavery. Germans are coming. These people will be slaves because France is defeated. So these people will ask them to do anything. So they'll be puppet. They'll be the slave in the hands of German. So if they are knowing their mother tongue, maybe one day they'll be free from this prison, free from this slavery. They realize the importance of learning their language and that they have been defeated because of their illiteracy. Very true. Many of the problems arise because of uneducation and illiteracy children. Now these people, these children or these elders, they understood the importance of their language and that they have been defeated because of their illiteracy, not knowing anything, no learning. His patriotism is reflected in his praise for the language as being the most beautiful and logical one. Mr. Hamel's patriotism is reflected because he praised Viva la France, isn't it? The language has been the most beautiful and logical in the world. He's having all praise for French language. And that is what is seen in his body language, through his face and in his teaching. Children, this was the lesson about. And the homework you pen down and keep writing the answers, children, in your notebook. The notebooks which are given to you. The people in the story, the first question, the people in the story suddenly realize that precious their language is, or how precious their language is. How do they realize it? Suddenly they realize their language is precious, and how do they realize it? Second one, will they make sing in German, even the pigeons? What does this line tells about? Franz is thinking, no, this. Even they'll ask the pigeons to coo in Germany. What this line speaks about? Third question, what is linguistic chauvinism? Linguistic chauvinism. Of course, we should have respect for our language, but we should not consider other language low grade, isn't it? What was the mood in the classroom when Mr. Hamel gave his last French lesson? How was the atmosphere inside the classroom when the teacher gave his last French lesson? I hope you understood the lesson, and very nicely you'll write the answers also, children. Understood? Now what I suggest you? I suggest you to watch a movie of the last lesson by Alfonso Daud. On YouTube, you will find it. You just write the last lesson by Alfonso, movie last lesson by Alfonso Daud, and you'll learn, and it will be cleared through that picture. So my suggestion is that you watch a movie. Okay? So learning will also take place. Reading, listening, watching, observing, all the skills will take place. Okay? So be prepared. Keep writing the question answers. Assignment also. Tomorrow we'll be taking the question and answers. the main points of the chapter and the question and answers. Okay, and the assignment, children. For today, it is okay. So thank you very much, student. Have a good day and bye-bye.